Yo, Mana Squad, if you like any of the cards you see in today's video, you can go ahead and show the channel some love with the affiliate link down below for TCG Player. TCG Player is going to have whatever it is you're looking for, and you can even search for some of your local game stores and buy from them and show them some love as well. And speaking of showing the channel love, another great way to do so is by rocking into the AM. Got the discount code on screen and down below. You can show us some love, look good in the process, and as Kenneth the Heathen loves to say, something about dripping in space and screaming.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Command Center, where we like to put our favorite commander, maybe even yours, front and center. And you know we can't do it unless we play those three grimy letters, EDH. What does it stand for today, Hadoken?
It stands for Easily Detecting Homicides. That's right, everybody. There's a murder in Krusty's Manor. Sideshow Bob is out there tripping, y'all, and we trying to figure out who done it. Wait, it's something like that. I don't know.
I'm thinking somebody else.
Somebody got in the house.
Yeah, we Markov's Manor, right?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
But go ahead and tell us what we're gonna be featuring today.
I thought maybe it was Stromkirk Manor. I'm not sure. Okay, so today we want to get into it's a new set. We want to talk about the bangers in this set. I feel like it's been forever since before y'all allowed me to sit at the adult table and come on to Command Center episodes since there's been an Is It a Banger episode. It's been quite a minute.
Wait. If we gonna do this, we gotta do it right. All right. A new set is coming out, and we was looking back and forth. We asked ourselves, is it a banger?
Is that how it happened for you guys? I kind of looked at it.
This is new for you. This is new for you.
Yeah, it is. I guess I had more of a different reaction. Mine was more of like it was like I looked off into space and like held my chin. I was like, is it a banger? And then I just kind of went back on with that. So it's not enough intensity. I need to bring more oomph with it.
Well, first of all, our spirit animal is Tom Hatherford, and we just roll with that and Ron Swanson. So that's where we come from.
Yeah. So sometimes it's a philosophical question. Sometimes it's just a matter of fact. But we want to get into these murder at Karlov's Manor, return of Ravnica, new set coming from Magic the Gathering. And as we do with these previous set reviews, when we do Is It a Banger, basically want to talk about what's hot in the streets and basically put our input. Really evaluate it. Is it a banger? Like, is it worth all the hype that it's getting right now?
That's right. As we go into MKM, that's right. Mustard, ketchup, and mayonnaise. All right. What you want to kick off with first?
So obviously for all these, we have a very scientific scale saying if it's a banger or not. So we think it's pretty easy to follow. It's very straightforward like any other scale, but y'all will catch on as we go. So we're going to start with one that I think is an easy one. I'm going to get y'all warmed up first. I already know what Sed's opinion is going to be, and I feel like I know what your opinion is going to be, Kim. We're going to talk about the new rare land cycle in this set. Try to hold back your excitement. I know this is too much excitement to handle, but there is a new rare land cycle in this set that has basic land types. So, for example, Hedge Maze is the blue-green new rare land, and it's both a forest and an island, so it's fetchable with like wood elves and all those types of things. It enters tapped, and then when it enters the battlefield, you surveil one. So it's very similar to a scry land, except you're surveilling instead of scrying, essentially. And it has the fetchable types. Are these new rare fetchable scry lands or surveil lands a banger?
Well, absolutely, positively, no. All right, it's a land. It's only so much you can do. But I will say this. I'm kind of on the fence on this one because when it comes to scrying, I can at least put it back in my deck. I'm not a huge graveyard person. I don't like to play in the dirt again, but I can see how you can fill your graveyard if you're one of those type of players.
So I'm going to have to put my input on it as well. There is an alternate full art of this, and it definitely is a banger. Art, let's be real. Most of the art when it comes to Magic these days, about last few years, they've been bangers. So that aside, though, the land itself is coming into play tapped. So I already got to mark it off just a little bit, even if it does have the two fetchable land types on there. But coming into play tapped, you're pushing at 5 or 6 right there. And then you throw Surveil on there. Surveil 1. I could throw a card in a graveyard in blue and green. Nah, I'll pass. I'm good.
I will say this. The underground sewer from where I'm looking at its card art does look like a place where rats go to doo-doo. And that's my 2 cents.
So that was a wonderful image. So for my thoughts on it, I'm a sucker for lands. I am very like meh on these. I do enjoy the fact that we have more fetchable duels, because I think the more fetchable duels, the better, especially because these enter tapped. Hopefully they'll be cheap, so it's easier to build, like if you're trying to do fancier mana bases. But the lands that always enter tap no matter what are always kind of like, for me. The surveilling is nice, and I do love me some graveyard decks, but I'm very kind of like, I think they're good. I'm happy they exist, but I'm not super hyped for them. So as far as like is it a banger on the banger scale, I'm going to give this one a Katy Perry firework.
I will
say it on the banger scale. We're like, I'm probably going to sing along a little bit when that song comes on, but I'm not proud of it when it happens. But it's like it's sort of in my head. So that's where I'm going to put it down at.
There is a way to fix this. Instead of surveil, you do explore. That might be too powerful.
Explore that thought later. No. All right, the second one, and I've already talked about this in a separate video, in the bruh video for this set, but I guess, shout out again to Kyle Lowry. We got the Pride of Hullclad. So the Pride of Hullclad is 10 and a green for a 2/15 Crocodile Elk Turtle. That wasn't enough. The spell costs X less to cast, where X is the total toughness of your creatures. So it can go all the way down to casting just green. It's got Defender, and then you can pay 2 a blue and a blue until end of turn. Target you creature you control gets +1/+0 gains whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player. Draw cards equal to its booty and can attack as though it didn't have Defender. So you can basically bring some stuff out, swing, and you can draw cards equal to toughness on a Crocodile Elk Turtle with 15 toughness coming into the battlefield. Is it a banger?
Oh, it's definitely a banger. First of all, this is Galta with extra steps. Old school Galta with extra old school Galta with extra steps. And you telling me I can cheat out a Tree of Perdition or any other trees and get this out for almost the free skis? Like, this is stupid. As a matter of fact, you know what? I dare say R&D needs to pee in the cup for this one, because this might be too powerful.
Said, do you concur with these? So on your, it sounds like it is a banger. Ken, that is my assessment based on what you said.
It beats the drum butt naked in a Denny's.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to, unfortunately, agree with Ken. This got a big booty on its own, and we got a lot of cards in Magic that got big booties, and we got ways to give cards big booties, and I just see this getting out of hand, especially in these colors, blue and green. So many ways to make things unblockable. So many ways to give things hexproof, shroud, and ward. You're going to be drawing cards for days. This is just Thrasios with extra steps. I
love this extra steps thing. That now everything is just something with it.
This is definitely battles at Gettysburg Address.
So I want to try to.
I said what I said. Both were bangers.
This thing has more dirty draws than a college dorm. I'm just saying. And then it's a Crocodile Elk Turtle.
It is.
Steve Irwin, rest his peace, rest his soul, wouldn't know what to do with this thing. He wouldn't know if to ride it or put it in a hefty sack. We don't know. This looks like something that comes out of a fever dream when you eating stale Oreos that's been in your back seat for 2 weeks.
It's a thing, all right. So I am definitely going to, I also think this is a banger. It is one of those cards where blue and green just do everything. Like, they complement each other so well in Commander that it's just always going to be obnoxious and do something crazy. I think it's a great spot where, like, you know what? If you're playing a Defender deck, it's probably going to be somewhat fair. So if you're just getting bonked on I don't know if it's bonked on the head with a 15 booty. It's like more like you're basically being sat on with a 15 booty. They're just drawing a whole bunch of cards. On my scale of is it a banger? Yes.
You're getting tied down to a railroad track. And the train is on time.
Beep, beep. Who got the keys to the Jeep? Wait, I did it wrong.
So my scale, I'm going to go deep into my rating system for this one. So because blue and green complement each other so well, I need to find a rating that embodies that perfect complementary nature. So we're going to go with the Yin Yang Twins. Miss New Booty. That is what it is on the banger scale. Because look, I feel like, wow, I see some. No,
this might be the Miss New Booty. I think
no,
it might be. This might be what the song is about the whole time.
It's better than that. I think you guys are underplaying the size of this thing's booty. I believe that it represents for the 99 and the 2000. I think it may in fact be backing that thing up.
No, hold on.
Oh my gosh.
There is a whole creature out there that is a 017. I mean, 017. So far that's one of the biggest booties out there. So don't be jumping into territory that we're not too familiar with just yet.
Okay,
Prisoner of the moment. We haven't given that rating out in a decade.
At the very least, it is
2 or 3 decades, Derek.
at the very least, it is a Cisco Thong song on the booty scale. I'm just saying we can't we can't keep disrespecting this card.
Banger scale. It's not the booty scale.
I'll give you
it's
that.
A different
I'll give you that. Because you brought up Galta. You know, sorry, he coming in at 12. Then you come up to 15, and we got the octopus with the. It's just crazy out here. Leviathan, sea creatures, wild. Everybody, all the dinosaurs, everybody's going crazy over this.
But yeah, it's exciting though. I mean, obviously when we all saw this card, we all did say, "I did find you, Miss New Booty."
I don't want to be on this. I don't want to be on the receiving end of this though.
Not even a little bit.
It hasn't reached Sir Mix-a-Lot status. That is what we call God Elite status. But no, it hasn't gotten there yet.
All right. So the next one we got on the list is going to be one that this one I really like, and it's mean. It's going to be the Doorkeeper Thrall. So Doorkeeper Thrall is a really simple card. It's 1 and a white for a 1/2. It has flash. It's flying, and artifacts and creatures entering the battlefield don't cause abilities to trigger. Just period.
Rude.
Just like, yeah, rude. And it's got flash on a creature, so you could basically for 2 mana flash this in, shut everything down. No ETBs for artifacts and creatures. It's strong. It's mean, but is it a banger?
It's like a subdued mother. Like, we've seen this before. I like the fact that it's flash because you can spooky boo somebody when they try to do something stupid. But, I mean, it bang? It thumps. You know what? It thumps. If it played at the club, people will come to the floor, but they not break dancing. If you smell what I'm stepping in.
So what you're saying is it's doing something.
Yeah.
It's doing something. It's bringing some attention to itself. But ultimately, the payoff is going to be, a little lackluster. Like, price of admission was not worth it. Like,
it has glow sticks, but it doesn't know how to spin them. That's what I'm going at right now. Okay, you see what I'm doing here?
So it's a little early for itself right
exactly.
Now. Okay, I do like the fact that it has flash. That's the most appealing part of this. People say that blue is the no color. I've always contended it was white, but I mean, yeah, we've seen this before. I would say the flash is the newest thing to add to it. So I say it's registering as a 1 on the Richter scale. That's about how much bang as I'm getting out of this.
Wow. Okay. So I am leaning towards, I think it's very effective. I think it's one of those things, like, it's super technically sounded, like it does what it does and it does it great, especially like you mentioned flash, big and newer thing. You can really get like a gotcha for people. It's almost like its own version of a counter spell essentially, because you're just stopping what a lot of cards, there's a ton of cards in Commander that we only play for ETBs. We don't care about once it is actually in the battlefield. So I think it's very technically sound, very strong, but at the same time, nobody's going to be excited about it. Like, the whole clad crocodile oak thing, people are excited about that. People are moving. The thing is, it's technically sound, but not a person is going to dance to it. So I'm going to say it's Beethoven. It's got some Beethoven. I've never seen Beethoven come on, and somebody comes running out of a room to dance. Never. Shout out to Beethoven. You're a dude who made music and stuff, but at the same time, nobody dances to your stuff.
That's just offensive. God, Jesus. You're talking about one of the premier proteges.
I don't know anything else about him other than I was going to say a fact to like make it sound like I knew what I was talking about. I can't tell you any facts.
Sorry, everybody. For everybody to understand, if you say Beethoven, you got to say Pitbull for Derek to understand. Okay, it's
Thank
Pitbull.
You, Armando. Shout out, Mr. 305, Mr. Worldwide. Now, but yeah, so I'm gonna give it a Beethoven. Super technically sound, great at what it does, but I'm not gonna dance to it. So that's where you are in the banger scale. Doorkeeper Thrall. The next one we're gonna go to.
Side note, I do like the fact that he busting up in that house like he pay bills.
Yeah.
You see, I love the art. It's a great card. It's just, I just don't want you to play it against me. Just play it against everybody else. This one is ridiculous. I think this might be like the strongest card, one of the strongest cards in the set, if not the strongest card in the set. It's Archdruid's Charm. It is green, so 3 green symbols for an instant.
Okay.
Now I need y'all to sit down for a second because it does a lot. Now it says choose one. You can search your library for either a creature or any land and reveal it. If it's a land, it comes into play tapped. If it's a creature, it goes to your hand. Or you can put a +1 counter on a creature you control, and it deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. Or you can exile target artifact or enchantment. This just does everything. It removes creatures, artifacts, enchantments, tutors for a creature or tutors for a land.
This is a setup card. This is a joke card to me. Honestly, you can do it's two. First of all, it's green, which means it's 2 mana intensive for 1. Number 2, there's cheaper ways to do this and better ways to do this. I can search for a land for less than 2 sometimes. I can destroy an artifact for 1 sometimes. And hello, heart and scales. And there's fight effects for 1. So honestly, this isn't doing what it's not that great to me. It's a no. It's a dud. It's achy break. It's give me somebody that sucks. give me any of these new rappers out here. Lil Yachty. Yeah, we'll go with that. It's a little Yachty for me.
Okay. I can respect that. While I can respect it, I'm gonna have to disagree. This does a lot. This is a charm, so all charms do 3 things for the most part, as far as I remember. And with it being 3 green, nothing to sneeze at. I'm fine with that. The fact that it's an instant, I think that's the scary part. The fact that you can have creatures deal damage equal to its power to other creatures, meaning it's pseudo fight. You're fighting one way. I'm punching you and you can't punch me back. Haha. Search for a creature in green for 3. Sure, I'll take it. And if I can search for any land and just put it on the battle, I don't care about lands or whatever. If I have a land on my deck that I really need on a battlefield, sure, I'll use it to go fetch for it. But I'm looking at that. Go search for a creature, reveal it, put it in your hand. So I'm loving all 3 of these abilities. Exile target artifact or creature. Green got to do it, but it comes in handy when you absolutely need it. But it's those first 2 abilities that really got me saying that, I think we got some. Jermaine Dupri, So Def, circa 1990s, early 2000s going on right here.
It's more like designer. Ooh, you thought it was gonna be good. You thought wrong. He had bras in Atlanta.
It's just for me. It's just how versatile. So for 3 green mana, you can remove anything on the board, and it's exile for artifacts and your enchantment. So 1 ring, you're gone. If there's like a god enchantment, you're gone. It's gonna fight creatures. So it deals with creatures. You can even deal with lands in a sense because you can tutor for a strip mine or something like that with it. Like it answers anything that's happening. And then worst case scenario, if there's no, or I guess best case, if there's no threats to answer, I'm just going to go tutor for the best creature in my deck and just put it into my hand because I had nothing else to do with this 3 mana. It's just doing too much. Like it's just one of those things where you're expecting it to be good, but I feel like it's like screaming value. Like it's basically just like, oh, this is a good card, but it's just like it's just yelling in your face. So I'm gonna go with Disturbed down with the sickness on the is it a banger scale. Because look, it's great, I enjoy it, but it is intense and there's a lot going on. So
no, it's you're right. It's doing a lot. As a matter of fact, it's doing the most. All right, it's doing more than it should right now.
It is doing.
As a matter of fact, to quote a great band that said, "These tears don't fall; they crash around me," because that's exactly what this car is doing. It's crashing and burning.
To you.
All right. So yes, that was it's a lot, and it seems like it's going to be really strong. All right. Next, we have a fun one. I don't think it's very strong, but I do like what it's trying to do. It's Krenko's Buzz Crusher. Just a great name.
Is this the big
Krenko's? Yes, it is the big bug. It's an Insectopter. So it's Krenko's Bug Crusher. It's 2, a red and a red for a 4/4 flying trample Insectopter. Just a great time. Where it gets interesting is when it ETBs for each player, destroy up to 1 non-basic land that player controls. For each land destroyed this way, its controller puts a basic into play tapped. 2 key things. 1, you're getting to destroy a non-basic from each player, but it also doesn't target. So things like Lotus Field I think Lotus Field is whatever one that has hexproof, Lotus, whatever. If a land has hexproof, it doesn't matter. If a permanents have hexproof, it doesn't matter. It gets around that. So this just seems so good, especially in a place where if you're sitting at a commander game, usually at least one player has an annoying non-basic. The fact that you can just play this and just get rid of all the worst non-basics, they get their lands back. And then especially, it's an artifact in red. You can recur this. You can clone it. Fable of the Mirror Breaker, Kiki Jiki. You can go ahead and use like Goblin Welder effects. You can basically make sure nobody has any overpowered. You're basically keeping the game fair by getting rid of all the broken non-basics. I think this thing is wonderful, but I won't spoil my rating yet. Ken, what do you think?
I actually think this is pretty hot right now. This it's Flow Rider circa 2010. So basically what this does, and you think to think outside the box, it has another application. For all those people that like to tutor and put stuff on top of their library, this is a forced search, which I am all in favor for.
Oh, it is a may. The controller may search.
Who's gonna give up a land and not go retrieve it? Get out of here.
I mean, this is also true.
You're forcing them. And it's turn 4. And then I'm gonna put this in a green deck, so it's really gonna be turn 2. Yeah, you're gonna go get that land.
Yeah, I'm a fan. So what was your official rating? Sorry.
Oh, my official rating on the
I think you said Flow Rider Circuit 2.
Flow, yeah, it's Flow Rider. It's post snap music. I'll give it that.
Okay.
I feel you.
All right, so what are you thinking?
Honestly, it doesn't do it for me.
Ooh.
I'm sorry. Enters the battlefield for each player. Even yourself. Oh my. Destroy up to 1 non-basic land that player controls. So force destroying non-basic lands. As a guy who plays a lot of basic lands myself, I take a lot of stock in those non-basics I throw in myself. So early game that's coming out, I don't really see it doing much because people are just playing fast mana or lands to get set up for the late game. This is more so like a still early to mid game kind of thing to destroy other people's lands. But I feel like I can just do this in red already, and I don't like the force thing of having to destroy my own lands as well. I don't mind taking other people's lands, of course, because I'll do that, sure. But the fact that it's pointing at myself too, nah.
Well, it does say up to, so you can choose none as far as for yourself. So it's up to for each player. So technically,
for each player, destroy up to 1. Okay, see,
yeah,
we got an episode coming about this later, but misreading the card.
And you can choose an indestructible land too. But I get what you kind of saying. It's not as thrilling as we would expect. I'm
sorry. To add on to what you're about to say, this was the last caveat I had. But when we're doing land destruction, how often is it I need to get rid of 3 people's lands on a board?
Yeah.
It's usually one person whose lands I need to keep in check. Even if they're necessarily putting too much lands, but they have strong lands
for the specific ones.
So to equate this out there, it's like Frank Ocean's second album. It's not happening. So 10 years and we still waiting. So that's pretty much the best way to define this.
Yeah.
Okay. So for my rating, I do like it. I enjoy just because I love artifact-based decks. I love artifact creatures. I love the fact that you can get the effect repeatedly in what it's in. I think it loves basics. It's incredibly basic. It's not exciting, but it's good at what it does. I'm gonna give it a Mr. Brightside because it's basic as hell, but at the same time, it's good at what it does. It does what it wants, and I think that you break this out late in a commander game, just like Mr. Brightside. If you're at a bar and that comes on at like 2 a.m., people are gonna lose their minds. If you break this out turn 12 of a commander game, yes, it's basic, but you're also going to get a lot of value for it. So that is my banger scale for Krenko's Buzz Crusher. All right, so the last one that we have for Is It a Banger for the murders at Karlov Manor is going to be a weird one. And I know we've already had a crocodile, alligator, turtle monster, but this one is a bit strange. It's Ansrag the Quake Mole. It's a mole god. It is 2 red and a green for an 8/4 mole. Whenever Ansrag the Quake Mole becomes blocked, untap each creature you control. After this combat phase, there is an additional combat phase. You can also pay 7 mana to make that Ansrag must be blocked each combat this turn. So basically, this thing can swing. If you don't let it in free and it gets blocked, there's an additional combat. This, at a base level, this thing just seems terrifying because the first thought is immediately you get this thing indestructible or any type of lure effect to where it has to be blocked. Essentially, you swing until there's no blockers left on the board, and all your other creatures can just swing in free and just kill everyone. It feels dangerous.
Yeah, this is prime for Kimiko. This is Kimiko all day. On a scale, 1, it is definitely a banger. This is Jay-Z, Eminem, Sons, the early 2000s. This is definitely going off the charts right now. This is This is amazing right now. I think this may actually be breaking Gruel from now on. It's going to get real disgusting. It will go. It will get disturbed and get down with the sickness.
Ooh, we got to double down with the sickness rating. I like that. I like that. Sid, what are you thinking?
I'm not on the fence, but like I got one foot touching on the other side. Just like this is going to do something. I just don't know how big it's going to do it. because I mean the fact that you're it's conditional based on basically let me put it in perspective like this. There's a lot that can go into this and make this card work, but you need to put those things into it to make this card work. It doesn't. I don't think it's a banger on its own.
Interesting.
Because it's conditional based on the fact if your opponents have creatures that can block it, that it can keep doing their thing. And at the end of the day, what all is it really doing? Maybe you can throw some trample on it. Maybe you can, put the indestructible on it. But at the end of the day, it's a board wipe during combat, potentially.
I will say it is. If I had to put it out there, it is definitely a metal album. I will say something akin to either Seven Dust or Cradle of Filth. It has to get that disgusting in order for to understand. Now, it's so sick. It might be swine flu. I don't understand it just yet, but it will get there.
Where I get interested is in the idea that you do let it through, so you don't get the extra combat. That's already 8 commander damage.
Mm-hmm.
And that just puts you immediate, like if you play like a Xenagod effect or something like that and like double its power, which green has too much of at this point, it's just death the next turn. So you could be on like a 2-turn clock if someone decides, because this thing gets out on turn 4 without ramp. And then if you're just not letting us do a thing, so my first thought for, is this a banger, is it's scary. It's one of those things that like, especially at the power level that we like to play at, sure at like competitive tables, this doesn't matter at all. But like in a game that plans to go like 8 to 10 turns, when this hits the table and there's going to be some setup there, my first thought is you either need to like have a plan or run, because like some sketchy stuff's about to happen. So on the banger scale, I'm gonna get a rating of just Lil Boozy, because Lil Boozy, if you're somewhere and you hear somebody get too excited that there's some Boozy playing, you should probably leave or have some sort of plan just in case. And that's how I feel about Anzrag. I think, I'm gonna be, when this comes out, I'm gonna give you a sideways eye because I assume death is close.
I'm gonna give it the Incredible Hulk, the one that we consider to be part of the MCU. This is it's not bad, definitely not bad, but it feels like it's about to kick something off, like something's about to happen, like a universe or something. I don't know.
You know what? I had time to digest this. I figured out what it is. It's officially Mobama. That's what it is. That's what it is. It's Mobama. That's exactly what it is. Yeah. Y'all know what I'm talking about. That's how bad it thumps right now. That's my final rating for it.
So for the people who don't know what Mobama is, you're just lost in this rating.
No. He's got. I can't say those words. Call in or the. Look it up. You'll get what I'm talking about.
You can't say any of the words.
I can't say any of the lyrics.
Okay.
Well, that's gonna wrap. Let us know in the comments if you think any of these are bangers. Tell us your scale. Where do you rate these? Let us know what you think. Sid, you got anything else for him before we head out?
Yeah, the triple green was Taylor Swift.
That's doing too much.
No, it is not banging.
Because I don't understand Taylor Swift, I can't say that she's not a banger just because
I'm not going to say good or bad. Swifties don't murder me or hurt me.
Right.
I'm staying out of this.
Anyway, if you want to pick up some of these cards, head over to TCG Player. Use our affiliate link in the description below. Help yourself out. Help your local game stores out as well. Get your shipments in fast and in great condition. Also, check out Into the AM. I think that they're running the promotional right now, so you can check out our link below also for the additional promotional code that's going on right now. Great clothing. We love it. Space, hear you scream, murder at Karlov's. You know how it goes. I think that's pretty much it. Before we get out of here, like you said, let us know your bangers from this set, or if any of the cards that we mentioned are actually bangers, how do you rate them? But until next time, I think we're going to get out of here before any more murders happen.